Hello and welcome to Mawia Storytime. Well, we hope you've had a fantastic day wherever you are and whatever you've been up to. Have you been out and about lately? Did you take a walk to the park? Or maybe go to the shops? Maybe to the swimming center? Well, today's book is just about that. It's called Look Out, Out and About by Llewellyn, illustrated by Mike Gordon. Well, let's dive in and talk about Out and About. Look Out, Out and About is part of a series by Llewellyn. There are 3 other books in this series, in the Look Out series, including Out and About. You can see those books right here, and we will leave the links and the titles for those other books in the show notes below. But Out and About, this is a set of books which is great and gives you, as a parent or as a carer, a framework and a language to be able to start educating your little ones about staying safe out there in the wide world. As a parent myself, my kids are growing, and I'd like them to be equipped with the knowledge and the toolkits to be able to stay safe when they go out, whether it's to the shops or just to the park or visiting a neighbor or a friend. And this book really enables you to start those conversations, gives you some of the language and the tips and tricks for you to use, and some of the things that you should think about, which we often, as adults who are already really accustomed to walking around and being in the bigger, wide world, take for granted. And so definitely a good book, even if it's just for you to have a read and have those ideas from Llewellyn, or use as a book that you can read together with your child every so often to learn about what you do when you go out. Now, quick note, this is not a bedtime storybook, okay? This is really about learning and educating you and your children or your kids, maybe you're in a school setting, about how to stay safe when you go out and about. Now, this book is meant to help you discuss issues around safety and engaging in those issues in an enjoyable, funny, smart, relatable way for your little ones. The book looks into many different places that we go, as I said before, whether it's the shops or the parks, for example, and asks questions about what might happen in places like these when something or someone might go wrong. Maybe you're separated from your child, or maybe the child gets lost and can't find you for that split second, and teaches the children what to do in those situations, if those situations should arise. Now, this book allows your child also to ask and answer questions in a one-to-one basis with you or in a class setting, which is like, how do you avoid getting lost? Who would it be safe to ask if you are separated from your parents or carers? The illustrations are quite amusing, even though they're quite educational, and already provide some of the answers and ideas and suggestions for the children to use. So you're prompting them to learn and answer questions on their own, which is a really great way to teach kids, which is really brought out by Llewellyn, not just in Look Out, Out and About, but in the other books of the series as well. Claire is a fantastic educator and really does this in a fantastic way. So easy to use for you, even if you're not a teacher, to really help your kids to learn. And so you're probably going to use this book as a reference over and over again until your kids really understand, or maybe you go to a specific setting, you go to the airport, or you're going to a really big long trip to the cinema for the first time, and so you're going to use it over and over again to educate your children about being safe in public places, which is really important for everyone. As you said, this book is really about safety when you and your children, or you and the kids under your care, are in a public place away from their normal safe settings, whether it be in the home or in school or in a creche, a preschool setting. Once they're away from those familiar surroundings, this is a fantastic book to teach them on what to do, what to look out for, and how to stay as safe as possible when they're out there in the big wide world. Now, why don't we take a sneak peek? We are still waiting for the publishers of this book to give us permission to read it out loud for you here on Maui Storytime. When we do get that permission, we will certainly read the book out loud for you in full here on Maui Storytime. Now, just a quick mention of those other titles that I mentioned earlier on. In the Lookout series, there's Lookout on the Road, Lookout Near Water, and Lookout at Home. And so there's 4 books in this series. And as I said, they're all phenomenal, fantastic. Even though the books were written quite a few years ago, I think this one was published in, let's have a quick look. Okay, so this one was published in 2006. As I said, written by Llewellyn and illustrated by Mike Gordon, published by Hodder Headline Limited, which I think has already been acquired by a completely different publishing house. And so we've written to them to ask for permission to review or read the book rather in full here on Maui Storytime. You might notice some of the books that I review here do have Hertfordshire Schools Library Service stickers. So what I do tend to do quite a lot, just as a sidebar here, is actually buy certain books off the local library service. It's a wonderful way to recycle books, and you also get them at quite an affordable rate, and they're all still in pretty good condition. So do look out for library book sales in your area. It's a great way to save a little bit of money, but also get hold of some really good titles that you may want to keep for a little bit longer than your normal library book rental. So as I said, book was reprinted in 2006 here in the UK, and there's 4 books in this particular series by Llewellyn, by Claire Llewellyn rather. So it's a quick sneak preview of what you find in the book. So these are the types of graphics and illustrations you'll expect. There's quite a lot of pages of these, so the book goes through to over 31 pages. So quite a lot of content, fantastically illustrated, really good content. Claire, as I said, is a fantastic educator, so really knows her stuff around teaching kids some of these really basic but really important life skills as they grow. So these are the types of graphics and sort of words you would expect in the book. Fantastic book, even though it's 2006, so quite a while ago. Now, at the end, at the back of the book, what you see is notes for parents and teachers, so some hints and tips there about how to use the book as well. So fantastic book, really good toolkit for you and your children to learn about being safe in those many public areas that we go through and we walk around today. So yeah, remember, the book just says remember to take care of yourselves when you're out and about. So hopefully you've enjoyed that really short review of this book by Claire Llewellyn, illustrated by Mike Gordon, called Out and About, part of a set of 4 books in the Lookout series, which is all about your kids staying safe in public areas as they grow and as they start to go out. Well, remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more book readings and book reviews such as these here on Maui Storytime. Thank you and take care. See you soon. Bye bye.